Thank you. My name is Patrick Loughney. I'm Executive Director of the National Audiovisual Conservation Center at the Library of Congress. One of the paradoxes of the American experience is that the responsibility for creating what we take to be our audiovisual culture, that's movies, television, sound recordings, radio, everything, has been largely the responsibility of private individuals, corporations, and companies. And the paradox is that the responsibility for preserving, organizing, and doing the archaeology of all of these media dating back to the 19th century is shifting inexorably toward federally and locally and state-funded organizations, publicly funded organizations. So that's part of the challenge that we're all trying to deal with. The library has been tasked on many occasions over the years for developing and trying to organize public policies dealing with at the strategic overarching level about these issues. And the latest example of that is the Library of Congress National Recording Preservation Plan. So it's originated in the Public Law 106-474, known as the Sound Recording Preservation Act of the year 2000. It created the National Preservation Board, the National Recording Registry, which you may have heard of, in which the librarian, for purposes of creating national awareness, selects 25 recordings or radio broadcasts that are worthy of preserving based on their cultural, aesthetic, or cultural and artistic importance. So it also created the national, authorized the library to set up a national recording foundation to raise funds that would go to small and medium archives across the United States. And I'm happy to say that that foundation was established in 2007 and has just secured its first major grant and is slowly getting itself into operation. But it also charged the library to do a national study of the state of recorded sound preservation, which was finally published in the year 2010. I'm holding up a copy. You can get a copy through the Council on Library and Information Resources, which makes it freely available. But it's the first ever study of the state of recorded sound preservation ever conducted in the United States. Pretty interesting and amazing. But furthermore, that legislation also tasked the library to develop a national plan to deal with the issues and the problems that challenges raised in the national study. And this is the document. So it is also now available from the Council on Library Information Resources, and contains 32 basic recommendations divided into 4 areas of building the national sound recording preservation infrastructure, establishing a blueprint for implementing preservation strategies, promoting broad public access for educational purposes for sound recording history and culture, and long-term national strategies. This is a generational document. It calls for copyright reform. It calls for some major changes for how we regard and treat and make accessible our recorded sound history and culture. So it's likely that it will take 20 or 30 years for all of the recommendations in this plan to be fully implemented, but that's well understood by those of us who worked on it. So I want to call that to your attention and to let you know that, as I say, the Recording Preservation Foundation is now established, is an analog to the National Film Preservation Foundation, which the library established in 1996, which has now succeeded in raising and giving grants to small and medium film archives in all 50 states, and we expect that that history will be followed by the recorded sound preservation. So look for more information about that to be coming shortly. So it's an interesting document. It has some far-reaching ideas that were put together by a team of panelists brought together from the private sector, recording sound archivists, people in the industry who create recorded sound for commercial purposes, and brought people together to create think tanks for creating these recommendations. It was about a 3-year effort to winnow these ideas down into 32 basic ideas, but we hope that it will begin to get traction. We already are getting testimony from people who are writing grant applications and so on, who are referring both to the study and to the plan as a national validation of their local and regional efforts to start coalescing ideas for preserving sound recording culture and history in the United States. And that's the end of my talk. Thank you very much.